grain or carbohydrate portion of our plate. It should be about a half a cup to a cup, and it's going to take about a quarter of a cup. So this is there's a variety of grains here. We've got, you want to go with a whole grain, so like a whole wheat pasta. They've got 260 pasta here. That's going to be more of a whole grain. You want to go with brown rice, wild rice. Those are all going to be good whole grains. But you may also look at wanting to do like a starchy vegetable, like a whole potato or a yam or sweet potato. We also have some beans here, and that could be considered a grain also, along with being a protein. So those are all things that are going to get. Another thing that you're going to notice in the food plot is there'll be this red tag. That means it's gluten-free. So that's where they're a little different than grocery stores. They really identify their gluten-free items, which can be great for somebody who needs to work. So it really saves them some time. What do you got there, Jayne?
Well, I was looking at different breads, talking about grains, and I'm wondering if you can help me identify which would be the best route to go. They all look like they're whole grains.
So this one here, the way you find whole grain is you look at the label. Okay. So the first ingredient on the label should be a whole grain, because that's what's mainly in that food. So if we look here, it says whole wheat flour. So we know this is really a good whole grain variety. Now if we look at this one, and it says that it's a multi-grain oat, you'll notice that the first ingredient is wheat flour, which is white flour. So this one isn't going to be as whole grain as this 100% whole grain.
Sure. So what's the difference knowing that? What's the difference with the sprouted wheat?
So the sprouted wheat is because wheat is a seed, it actually can sprout. So when it gets sprouted, it's going to have a lot more nutrition, and it also doesn't increase moisture to sprout. And that's one of the reasons that we want whole grain in general, is it's got more nutrition, it's got more bran, it's got more fiber, but you get a little extra when you do sprout.
And then you get that spike in glucose.
Right, you still get some, but it's not quite as much. So you want to just look at making sure that you can do a variety of grains and make sure that they're not highly processed. So those are going to be your best choices.
Terrific, thank you.
You're welcome. So unique section at the food co-op is their bulk section. What's nice is it's like lots of good whole foods, and you can just buy what you need. They have anything from walnuts to paprika in the spice section, which is nice because sometimes you only want a little bit of spice for a recipe, so it doesn't sit around for 25 years in your drawer, which is often what happens. Right. So it's really nice because you can get just what you need, and most of it is a whole food. So that's a really positive thing, and it also allows you to maybe try something maybe you haven't tried before and get a small amount. So that is a nice asset to the food co-op. So now we're going to talk about the last quarter of our plate, which is the protein portion, which is about a quarter of the plate and about 2 to 4 ounces, depending on how much protein you want. Protein can be something like eggs, which is a great protein. Cheap, easy to make, and so you can use that for your protein. Also, you might want to use something like chicken. That's a nice lean protein and very highly, tends to be cheaper and highly available. So one thing at the food co-op is they have a lot of local meats. So this is a local pork. Pork and beef is going to be a little higher in saturated fat, but because most of this is locally grown, pasture grown, it tends to be leaner. If you don't want to use a meat product for your beef,
can you still get protein without using?
Yeah, just a non-animal protein. You might want to look at something like soy, tofu. Soy is a really common protein you can use. Beans, lentils, and also you can use something like tempeh, which is a type of soy product. So all of those are going to be really good proteins without using animal proteins. But we definitely do need protein, so you want it to be about a quarter of that plate.
Wonderful, thank you.
You're welcome.